Good morning, guys, on this cold and frosty morning in Hinckley. We're just coming out of the test centre car park here now, and we're going to turn left onto Brookside. This is test route number 9, and it's 9 of 12. And you can see the other 11 in this series if you just click the subscribe button, and you can see all of the test routes there, plus some bonus videos, really, or extra videos I suppose you could say, which are to do with tips in how to pass your test, and one which I think is quite, and also videos on how to book the test, and also one that I think is quite important, really, which is one which is about, you know, if you've booked a test, you really need to look at it. It's quite important. So they're the extra ones, 5 tips on how to pass the test, and all of the test routes. Just subscribe, and they're there. In the meantime, we're on Brookside, and we're heading along towards Burbage Road. So we're coming away from the test centre, really. We're coming along Brookside up to Burbage Road. And when we get to the traffic lights at the end, we're going to be turning left. But also, the test route here is listed out below in the description box. So you can look at that, you can follow that as well if you wish to. And all of the test routes in this series have their route listed out in the description boxes as well. So you can look at those. Also, there's some kind of I suppose you'd say useful links for you there as well, so lots to look at. In the meantime, we're going to come to the end of this road, which is Brookside. We're going to turn left at the traffic lights. These traffic lights are on red for a little while sometimes, and very often there's quite a queue along this road up to these lights, particularly kind of like at 5 in the evening, so like 4 or 5, that kind of rush hour time. So I would advise you not to come, if you are going to follow these routes, not to come up to this one about that time. Mid-morning, mid-afternoon is probably the best. There you go, we're turning into Burbage Road now. One problem with this video today is that it's quite bright sunshine. It's kind of January, as you can see. Probably you can see all the ice around us, so we've got quite bright sunshine. Hopefully that's not going to trouble the camera too much. We just let this fella out the side road there. My policy about that, letting people out, really, particularly if they're like workers, like this fella is obviously, you know, going about his daily business. You know, I'm just going to give way to them. I'm going to let them out, give them as much room as I possibly can, because, you know, they're getting on with their work. They don't need me getting in the way. And as a motorist, I think that's a good policy. In general terms, you'll notice that it's the white van people, if you're stuck on a side road, for instance, that will let you out. It's a strange one, that is, because people seem to have the opposite view, which is a bit unfair. It is usually the white van people, and people like the fella in front of us that will let you out. Anyway, we've come along Burbage Road, and it's now become London Road, and we're just following this around. There's temporary lights here today, so that's another good reason not to come round at rush hour time. Rush hour, bit of a trades descriptions act, that one, isn't it, really? There we go, we've gone through the temporary lights, so they didn't hold us up for too much. When we get up to this bend in the road, this, what is now London Road, will then become Spa Lane. So if you look on the list below, you can see it will say Burbage Road becomes London Road, becomes Spa Lane, and that's because of these bends in the road and how they've kind of developed over the years. So we're coming along Spy Lane now, and as you know, if you know Hinckley very well, there will be traffic lights at the end of this road, and we're going to turn right at those lights. So we're on Spy Lane, we're going to turn right at the traffic lights, and that's going to take us into Leicester Road. Today is the third Monday in January, and they keep telling me on the radio that it's the most depressing day of the year. But look at it, it's, you know, it's bright sunshine, you know, it's crisp morning, you know, everything's quite nice actually. It's not that bad. It is cold, but it's, you know, it's not really cold. I don't know why everybody on all the TV and the radio seem to be really miserable about it. Not us. There's the traffic lights. Into Leicester Road. Now Leicester Road is quite a long road, and it's going to take us all the way out of Hinckley. But as you come round here, you'll get past the school here, obviously, and then the road will kind of widen out, and it will look like it could be more than 30, but it's not. It is a 30 road, and we must try and keep to that. So for instance, I'm going dead on 30 now. You can see the car in front of us is kind of disappearing into the distance, and that's because along here nobody seems to stick to on this particular road, nobody seems to stick to the speed limit, and that can affect you on your test, can't it? Because you know, you'll kind of get that kind of feeling that you've got to keep up with the traffic, and you'll get that feeling that you're kind of, you know, you're holding people up. So for instance, there's a couple of cars behind me now, but I'm doing bang on the speed limit. I'm not allowed to go any quicker. And so what you'll end up doing, or what you could end up doing, should I say, is you'll break the speed limit, and you'll not realise until it's too late, and that'll be the end of your test. So do be careful, particularly on roads like this, that you're sticking to the speed limit. Really, really, really important. As we come down here, though, the speed limit does change, but it's going to change from 30 to a 40. That's it. So now we can go a little bit quicker. We can get up to 40 miles an hour. Take it along there. So there's a bit of a dip down the hill here, so again, just be careful, keep your speed under control. Don't allow the car to get away from you, because it does change again then along here. You get past this little white cottage on the right, and then it says 50 now, and then we can go quicker again. Asda van is turning into Beach Common, and we're just going to give him a bit of room to do that again. Put someone in their work day, so don't bother them, let them get on. And we're now going along Leicester Road, and we'll come to the end of here. We'll come to the end of this road, and we're going to turn. There'll be a big roundabout at the end here. We're going to turn right at the roundabout then. Okay, so it's not very far away. You can see the speed limit changes again. It's now 40. Do be careful to show that you've noticed that. And now we're braking quite positively down into second gear. We're going to see if it's clear. It is. We're going to turn right to the third exit. So there's one. There's two, and we're going to take this next one. We want to try and get into the left-hand lane. And we come into this next roundabout here, and actually we're going to turn left at this roundabout then. Turning left, taking the first exit. ourselves nicely tucked into the left, and around we go. So it's taking us into Barwell. I think this is Barwell. I'm not quite sure where Barwell starts and Earlshall ends, and vice versa. I'm going to say this is Barwell. As we come up here, there's a roundabout ahead of us, a mini roundabout, and just going to go straight ahead at that. Just make sure that it is clear there in Elmsthorpe Lane. Yes, it is clear. That's fine. And then we're going to take the next left. No, we're not. That's the wrong one. We're not going to take that one. Yeah, that's totally the wrong one. We're going to take the next left at this mini roundabout here. There we go. And this should say Bellevue. Bellevue Road. Along Bellevue Road, it's quite a quiet road, particularly when it's not school run time. Again, you know, you might be asked to do some maybe controlled stop up here, emergency stop, or you might be kind of, you know, doing some manoeuvres, some exercises down here. But we're going to turn left here. It's like a crossroads. We're on the main road for the crossroads, but we're going to turn left into the side road here, which is Moor Road. That's Moor, M-O-O-R-E, as in the as in the old football player. And then we've got turning left straight away into Queensway. Already in Queensway, we're in a kind of meeting situation. The person's turned off, but we can carry on now. You can probably, hopefully, on the camera you can see all the ice. People are being coming down here a little bit gingerly. Can't blame them. The road surface does look quite treacherous. So if you can see on this road, it doesn't thaw out very quickly. So if it is icy that day that you're on your test, then do be careful. There's a little bend in the road here. We're just going to follow that around. Carry on along here. Again, quite a wide road, quite a straight road. If there's cars parked, you may be asked to do a parallel park along this road here, or you might be asked to pull in on the kind of right hand side of the road, or just on the left hand side of the road, and do your manoeuvres from there. Go down a little bit of a dip, and at the end of the road we're going to turn left. So we're on Queensway. At the end of the road we turn left. We're actually on Oxford Street. We were on Queensway, we're on Oxford Street now. Oh, one of these days I'll get these things right. There you go. Turning into this road now. Now along here we can see that there's a 20-mile-an-hour part of this. So this is where the 20-mile-an-hour things start for the kind of centre of Barwell. And we're just going to hang on for a few seconds here whilst the road clears for us. There's always lots of parked cars along this bit, and it's also where the road narrows as well quite significantly. So it's kind of, you may have to give way there. Again, along here, people are kind of parked here, aren't they, for the shops and things. So, where there's kind of no double yellow lines. What we're going to do then, when we get to the end of this road, which is Kirby Road, we're going to turn left, and that's going to take us into Stapleton Lane. Now, originally the test route took you straight ahead. Can't do that anymore. We're going to go left here. hope that will get us out of the sun as well quite quickly, so just bear with. There you go, we're out of the sun. And there's another place where, you know, there's lots of opportunities to show that you're dead good at giving way and, you know, in meeting situations and holding back. I'm at least a good car and a half's length from the Volvo that's parked in front of us, and that gives me lots of you know, room to get out, and it means I've got a good view of the road as well. So if you can do that, do that. Give yourself an opportunity to get it right, really. Big hole in the road there. This is Shilton Road. We're going to follow it all the way to the end. Little bit of a detour because they put no entry signs in on the roundabout back there. And I'll take you right up here, all the way to the end of this road now. Follow it around. It's quite a nice area actually, Barwell. Yeah, it's quite nice around here. Okay, and when we get to the end, we'll turn right. That's taking us back onto Leicester Road. From Shilton Road back onto Leicester Road. It's a bit of an acute angle, so it's not going to be the easiest one, and Leicester Road is quite busy normally. Today we're okay though. We're going to move out and around again. Hopefully that's taken us out of the sun, but we'll be turning right really at this roundabout. It's a kind of straight on because it's the same road, but it's past 12 o'clock, so it's a right turn really. Come down here. This is where the road now speeds up. It's a 40-mile-an-hour road again, so we just need to go a bit quicker. We get up to 40 to show that you're confident for that. We're going to come up to a roundabout next, and we're going to turn right at the roundabout. We're going to turn right at it from the left-hand lane, and that's just because there's only two exits, and if you turn right at it from the right hand lane, then you're going to end up in the wrong lane on the new road. So we're going to come round it, sticking on this lane, on the left hand lane should I say, sticking in this lane, and that's going to take us all the way off and into the correct lane on the actual new road here, which is now again, it's Leicester Road, but it's kind of Clickers Way as well. That's what people call it, and we're going to go straight ahead at the roundabout here as well. That will put us back onto the route we're about to make a detour from, because they put the new no entry signs in. So we're now on Normandy Way. You'll have noticed that quite a lot of the test routes take in Normandy Way, and it seems to be a choice of, because Normandy Way is this side of Hinckley, and the big roundabout for the M69 where the A5 is, it's kind of the opposite side. So it seems to be either one or the other really. As you go through the test routes you'll notice. So it's a good idea to learn both of those really. The A5 in particular, the M69 roundabout, work out all the ways, all the different ways you can enter and leave that, and also spend a little bit of time on Normandy Way here, because it's a fairly quick road. I know it's, you know, it's quite straight, you can see a lot, but the idea is that you show a bit of confidence that you can get your speed up and you're not frightened of it. So that would be my advice really in terms of driving tests. You know, amongst other things, you know, Normandy Way is perhaps quite important. It's on quite a lot of test routes, and so is the M69 roundabout. We're dropping back down to 40 now, because the signs have told us to do that. And you can see it says that we're coming back into Hinckley. And we're going to turn left at the traffic lights then. Just to pre-warn you, I think we're going to turn into the sun. So, you know, it'll only be the sunshine will only be on the camera for a few minutes, or well, less than a couple of minutes maybe. Well, perhaps even a minute. So, you know, just bear with it. We'll be turning off of this, Ashby Road again soon. So we're on Normandy Way. We're going to turn into Ashby Road. Hopefully it's not too sunny on it. But we'll see. Ashby Road, so as we turn into Ashby Road, it will be taking us back toward Hinckley and the town centre. Just to give you a little bit of idea about which direction we're moving in. The sun seems to be off to the left there, so hopefully that's a good sign. You know that it's not directly in front of us. There are trees and things. So this Ashby Road, it is a 30-mile-an-hour road, so we're going to keep it down to that. We're not going to break the speed limit. Take it nice and steady along here. Actually, the sun's not too bad, is it? So we're just climbing the hill here along this Ashby Road, and you'll see some traffic lights at the top of the hill, and we will be turning left when we get to those. But it's just a long straight road, and Hinckley is a bit like that really. So it's not a bad place to take your test really. It's not a bad place. There are quite a lot of roads like this where, you know, it's not going to stretch you too much, I don't think, particularly if you made sure you've prepared properly for your test. So turning left at the traffic lights here, that will take us into Darby Road, and that's where the sun is now brightly in front of us, so hopefully it's not too bad for you looking on the screen. But we are going to come into a little bit of shade now as well, so there you go, that will turn the sun off. We're just coming along Darby Road here, and we're coming up to some traffic lights at the end. We're kind of working our way towards B&Q. We're going to go straight ahead at the lights, which will take us past B&Q. So that'll give you an idea about where we are, hopefully. The lights are on green, so we're going to go through. You have to go a little bit with zigzaggy type of motions, go through these lights, but there we are. We're on a road that's called New Buildings. Looking out for a new building. I suppose the Aldi store, that's a new building. Let's see if there's any more. There isn't any more. There you go. I'm going to follow this around, and we're going to get to a point where there's a crossing here and quite a sharp bend. And actually, the crossing's on green, but this sharp bend is going to take us into Castle Street. Just coming along Castle Street. Working our way to the end. This is another junction coming up here where you're going to turn right out of Castle Street onto London Road. Seems to be on quite a lot of tests. They seem to like this one quite a bit, which is all a bit strange because it's not that difficult. As long as you get square on the line, you can see. If you don't get square on this line here, on these giveaway lines, it's difficult to see to the left. and there's a bend in the road there as well, which means you can see the traffic quite late. But there is a gap there for me now, and I'm going to go, and that's going to take us back into London Road. So we're coming back down to these temporary lights where we were before, and that means we're just going to have to wait a few seconds just for the lights to change. Shouldn't take too long really. They seem to be working their way up the road with their road works. They seem to be working their way along the road, should I say. I don't know exactly what they're doing. I'm sure it's pipes. Usually it's just all cables. Pipes or cables, something like that. Well, the traffic ahead of us, I was going to say it seemed to have stopped, but it's not. And that's a clue, isn't it, as to, the lights on the opposite side, whether they will have gone, to red for them so that we can then move on. Let's just see. It does seem to have stopped. And here we go. There you go. On London Road, and we should fit through that little gap there. It's a little bit over, but still enough room for us to go through. There we go. We're on London Road and we're heading kind of away from the town centre now, and we're going to go past the Esso garage on the right. And this is kind of, I think this is where it changes into Bellevue Road, somewhere around here. And what we're going to do then is we're going to turn right at the traffic lights. Just when it's clear, we just have to wait. The network rail van got through, that's good for him. We should be alright in a few seconds. Well, you can see why they've set the lights quite a way back now, can't you? Really, actually, that is to let any long vehicles, give them a bit of room to turn right out of there. And that's a good point as well, isn't it? Where you see the traffic lights set back from the junction, it's usually because of that, because they've kind of worked out that the longer vehicles will need more room to turn. There we are, we're going to turn right, that's going to take us into Brookside. We're going back along Brookside. At this point, again, like I always say, you will have realised that you're at the end of your driving test. It's you're kind of on the way back to the test centre. Quite important then that you don't lose any concentration, and that you keep your concentration level as high as you possibly can. Don't lose it in the last kind of 2 or 3 minutes of the test. Brookside, I mean, it doesn't give you many problems, but we can see one in front of us already where there's a lorry coming through here. There's a couple of parked cars on our side of the road. So it might be that we'd have to time our approach to this little situation so that we could let the lorry through and also we could keep moving as well. So there is still work to do, really. So we must be careful. Just keep looking at the furthest point down the road, tracking back, but keep making sure that you see what's there and deal with it as soon as you see it. Don't leave it until you get closer. Just see it, deal with it. Your instructor might have said, look, assess, decide, act, which it seems to me like a long way of saying, just deal with what's there. Anyway, here we are, a long road, it bends round this way and that. holes in the road there, in the middle of the road, by the way, so that's one thing. They're new. All the bad weather we've been having. Okay, so we're going to be careful not to indicate too early here. We're going to indicate right now when we're level with Bridge Road. That's going to take us back into the test centre car park. As we drive in it, I'm going to drop the car into first gear. Always do that, and then kind of manoeuvre yourself around into the car park, nice and steady. Well, it looks like someone's been having a jump start here as well. I can slow you through that. So that's test route number 9, and it's 9 of 12, and that's it really. So I shall see you in the next video, and the next one will be test route number 10. Do remember to subscribe. Cheers guys.